moment, what you're going to do is just relax yourself by either sitting right back in your chair or even lying down. And if you've got a headset on, just set it neatly on your head very comfortably. Perhaps you put a little pillow behind your head or something if you're feeling like you just want to crash out on the floor. Either way, what you're going to do is focus on relaxing every muscle in your body for a moment. Now this is very easy. You just think about, first off, the muscles in your scalp. There are tiny muscles in your scalp, and if you just let them release, just gently let them relax. It's a little bit like the tiny fibers in an elastic band, having all the tension taken off it. And gradually, you begin to feel very slightly different. And then you repeat the same exercise, thinking about the muscles in your forehead. And as you think about them more now, as you release those muscles, you just remove any tension from those muscles. You begin to feel even more relaxed. And doing the same now with the muscles around the side of your face. Just imagine how smooth the skin becomes, how untroubled it feels. And the muscles around your eyes. And very soon your eyelids feel like they're just made of lead. They're so heavy. You just let them totally relax, releasing the tiny little muscles in those eyelids. And they become heavier and heavier. And you gradually let yourself slide deeper into this feeling of tranquil calm. Now just imagine the muscles in your shoulders after they've been gently massaged. You can almost imagine them softening now. The muscles around your chest, any tightness there fading away. And gradually even the muscles in your tummy, around your waist, letting go completely. If you were to think of your arms and your legs almost like pieces of string that are totally devoid of energy. As the muscles let go completely, and you now begin to feel very, very relaxed and calm. Even the muscles in the base of your feet are just letting any tension drain away. And you're going to be able to do this whenever you need to feel a sense of calm. And of course, when you feel this physical calm, it has a very, very strong benefit in the sense of psychological and emotional calm. As you focus on this moment now, forgetting about anything that came before or anything that comes after, you just focus on this instant, you're finding any tension whatsoever is just fading away. Now, without moving, I want you to picture each of the joints, your knees, your arms, your elbows, your wrists, your hips, even the base of your neck, your ankles, each of those joints just like rubber for the next little while. So soft, so relaxed. Now what I want you to think about for a moment, and this is just to let you become even more calm, I want you to think about the idea of a river. We are all of us a little bit like a river. When a river is a very young river, in other words, in the early stages up by the spring in the mountains, it's full of activity running this way and that. And you can picture in your mind now a beautiful babbling brook high up in the mountains. Now here at Vancouver Hypnotherapy, obviously we're right at the edge of the most beautiful North Shore Mountains, and we're near Whistler. We're very lucky we can see such beautiful mountains as we look out the window every day. But I'd like you to imagine in your mind's eye the most beautiful mountain you can. And it's covered in trees, cedars, hemlock, maybe fir, depending where you are. And the trees are full of life. There's squirrels, there's all sorts of forest life. And of course there are the beautiful eagles that soar high above in a blue sky. And right at the top of the mountain, of course, there's a little cap of snow. Now as the snow melts, it runs down into that brook. And the brook gets a little bigger. And if you work your way down that very busy little river, just like a little person, a little 3-year-old running this way and that way, always bumping into things, knocking things down, and well, as I say, we're very like rivers, and even when we're very young, just like that river, it's full of activity, it's full of noise. But as it moves further down the mountain, it begins to become much more controlled. It's stronger, it's much more powerful. And it finds its way down between the boulders, and it becomes more established in its route. And instead of that jagged activity this way and that way, it starts to become much more mature. Now, as that river becomes older still, that maturity develops further. As the river moves down to the plains, it starts to run much straighter in its course. And that's very much like a person. As they get a little older, they have perhaps a little more purpose, and they'll set off in one direction, and then maybe they'll switch to another. But it's a gentle curve. And as that river becomes more and more established, you'll see its motion becomes more and more gentle, and yet it is more and more powerful. Now, just as you could imagine that river perhaps here in Canada or in the States or even in Europe, as that river becomes so much more mature, you can imagine that the life around that river changes. From the beautiful forest life high up in the mountains, it moves down to the towns. Perhaps it goes through an industrial area, that's fine. But it's surrounded by activity and purpose. It's become fully mature. Now as time goes on, as it goes through more towns and its character develops further, it becomes much straighter in its path. You can almost equate this perhaps to a river near you if you live near London. The Thames starts very, very busy, just as we described this. But eventually it becomes very straight. Even the Amazon, very much the same situation. Until ultimately it reaches its delta, where it starts to drain out into the sea and return itself to the mass of water from which we all came. Now what I'd like you to try and do just for a moment, as you lie here so relaxed and so calm, I'd like you to try and think about where you fit in this path, in this river. Are you right at the top there, very young, very active? Are you slightly more mature? Or maybe you're fully mature river, much more gentle, still very forceful though. Or maybe you're even dissipating out back to that great sea after the delta. But you can see we are just like rivers. And just like rivers, when we have purpose and direction, everything becomes much smoother. So as you relax here now and you continue this relaxation in your own mind, you're going to think about this today, letting yourself remain calm and relaxed, not letting anything faze you. Remember, when something comes along to disturb you, it's like someone dropping a huge boulder in the middle of a river. If you maintain your reserve, if you maintain your calm, eventually, just like that river, you'll gently move it aside and continue on your way. And it really won't matter very much after a little while. And you're just going to stay here in this calm feeling as long as you need to.